Dear children, welcome to the online video class. Dear children, welcome to the online class. Welcome to the science class. In the last class, we have seen how to prepare the soil and how to loosen it, and we have also seen about sowing. So in this class, we are going to learn about manure and fertilizers. The advantages of adding manure and fertilizers to the soil, and also we are going to see about irrigation. Okay, before going to this, okay, have you ever seen the farmers applying manure and fertilizers in the field? Okay, is it good to the crops or not? Yes, applying manure is good to the plants. It enhances the plants to grow. Applying fertilizers is also good to the plants. It also enhances the plants to grow. But manure is very good than fertilizers. Manure adds humus to the soil than fertilizers. Okay, let us see the definition of manure and fertilizers. So what are manure and fertilizers? Okay, so what are manure and fertilizers? Take your book, take page number 5. In the page number 5, come to the second column, last paragraph, underline. Manure is an organic substance obtained from decomposition of plant or animal wastes. Okay, so what is manure? It is an organic substance. Organic substance means it contains carbon as the main constituent. How it is obtained? Okay, animal and plant wastes are decomposed and manure is obtained. Okay, have you seen the compost in your farmer's field? Okay, there will be a compost. In the compost, what the farmers will do? They will dump the plant wastes and the animal wastes. They used to take the cow dung, and also they used to take the dry leaves, and they will allow to decompose. Soil has some bacteria, isn't it? So some bacteria helps in the decomposition of these wastes and convert this into manure. So this manure can be applied to the soil and it enhances the plants to grow. Okay, have you understood? Okay, we have learned about vermicomposting in chapter standard 6, isn't it? So what does it mean? The wastes are converted into manure. So this manure can be applied to the plants and it enhances the plants to grow. Okay, now come to the Bhujas question. Okay, in page number 5, come to the Bhujas question. Okay, see, I saw a healthy crop growing in a farm. In a neighboring farm, the plants were weak. Why do some plants grow better than others? Okay, he is seeing a farm. In that farm, he is seeing the crops are growing in a healthy manner. But in the neighboring farm, the plants were weak. So what is the reason for this? Plants are weak. Okay, what is the reason? Okay, the neighboring field, the plants are weak. No, what is the reason? Okay, so that to the plants, they may not apply manure and fertilizers. So the plant will not get enough nutrients and it will not grow. If manure and fertilizers are added in proper amount, it will help the crops to grow. Okay, so listen children, the soil, we know that soil is a natural resource, isn't it? The soil will contain some mineral nutrients. So these nutrients will be taken by the plants and the plants will grow. Okay, if the farmers are continuously planting, if they are not at all leaving the land without cultivation, they are not at all leaving the land fallow. Fallow means without cultivation. So what happens? All the nutrients will be used by the plants again and again, and the soil will be very poor in nutrients. It will not get any nutrients. So if any other plant is planted to that, means it will not grow. So what do? So we have to add manure and fertilizers. If manure and fertilizers are added, means the soil will be rich in nutrients and it will enhance the plant to grow. Okay children, have you understood? Yes. Then see, so what happens? Sometimes I have told about your preparation of soil, no? So what they will do in preparation of soil? They will loosen the soil. Okay, on loosening what happens? The soil roots the roots may breathe easily. So like that, manure also helps to loosen the soil. It also increase the porosity of the soil. So small pores will be opened in the soil and the roots may breathe easily. It may take in oxygen and give up carbon dioxide. Roots breathe only. Okay. Have you understood, children? Yes. Okay. Then, so we, dear children, come to the activity 1.2. So this activity is to show you that which enhances the plant growth more. Okay, which enhances the plant growth more, fertilizers or manure. For this you take green seeds, that is green gram seeds, and germinate them. You add little amount of water and germinate them and grow them into seedlings. Okay, as shown, you grow them into seedlings. You can do it in the tumbler itself. Okay, to the first one, name them, enable them into A, B and C. You take 3 seedlings. Seedlings means very small baby plant, and you label them into A, B, C. To the A, you add some cow dung. Okay, to the A, you add some cow dung. Cow dung is the manure, isn't it? To the B, you add some urea. If your parents or if your neighbors or farmers, you might have heard the word urea, ammonium phosphate, super phosphate and all. So these are called fertilizers. To the B, you add some fertilizers, and to the C, you do not add anything. You don't add manure or you do not add any fertilizer. You just leave it off. Okay, then pour equal amount of water to the 3 tumblers. Okay, you leave it off for some days. What happens? See the growth. Okay, to the A we have add manure, to the B we have added fertilizers, to the C we have does not add any manure or any fertilizers. See the growth. The growth of C is very less. So B grows very faster than A and C, and the growth of A is intermediate to B and C. What does it denote? Okay, the added manure or fertilizers, it enhances the plant's growth, so that only A and B grows faster than C. Okay, see A and B, which grows faster? Okay, which goes faster? B grows faster because fertilizer enrich the crop more than manures. Okay, then come to the next one. Okay, so what are fertilizers? Underline ma. What are fertilizers? So fertilizers are chemical substances which are rich in particular nutrient. Okay, they are rich in particular nutrient, that is they are rich in NPK. N means nitrogen, P means phosphorus, K means potassium. The Latin name of potassium is kalium. So that's why its symbol is K. Okay, see the examples of fertilizers are also given: urea, ammonium phosphate, super phosphate, potash, etc. Okay, so these are the fertilizers. Okay, so they enrich the crops and it enables the crop to grow faster and also to give better yield. Okay, see, we should not add excessive amount of fertilizers. We can add excessive amount of manure. It is good to the soil, but we should not add excessive amount of fertilizers. If we add excessive amount of fertilizers, means it will make the soil less fertile. Okay, the soil will become less fertile. This fertilizer will not add humus to the soil. It makes the soil less fertile only. And also it is the main source of water pollution also. If you are applying the fertilizers and we are going home, means what happen? If it rains, it will mix with the water bodies and it will also pollute the water. Okay, so excessive fertilizer should not be applied to the soil. Even though it enhances the plant's growth, excessive fertilizer should not be applied to the soil. It makes the land less fertile and it also a main source of water pollution. So what we can do? To substitute fertilizers, what we can do? We can add manure, or we can leave the land fallow, or we can leave the land uncultivated for some time. If you are leaving the land uncultivated for some time, means it itself naturally reoccur. Okay, it will itself naturally reoccur. Or what we can do means we can go for crop rotation. See what we can do? We can go for crop rotation. So what is meant by crop rotation? Crop rotation means growing different crops alternately. For example, if you are planting paddy means again we have to put from leguminous plants. Okay, these leguminous plants will absorb nitrogen and they will convert this nitrogen into ammonia and it will enhance the plant to grow. So like that we can grow for crop rotation. Instead of applying too much of fertilizers, we can go for crop rotation or we can leave the land uncultivated for some time. Okay, have you all understood, children? Now take your next page. In the next page, they have given the differences between fertilizers and manures. Okay, they have given the differences between fertilizer and manure. See, the fertilizer is the inorganic salt. Inorganic salt means it contains nitrogen, potassium and phosphorus. Okay, so other than carbon are said to be inorganic. So manure is a natural substance obtained from the decomposition of cow dung, human waste and plant residues. It is obtained by the decomposition of cow dung, human waste and plant residues. It is the organic substance. These fertilizers are prepared in factories. Okay, in the factories it is prepared on a large scale and it is sold to the farmers. This manure can be prepared in the field itself. Okay, so the fertilizer does not provide any humus to the soil. It will not add any humus to the soil, but the manure will enrich the soil with humus. Okay, I already told you fertilizers are rich in nitrogen, potassium and phosphorus, NPK. N for nitrogen, P for phosphorus and K for potassium. The Latin name of potassium is kalium. So manure is relatively less in nutrients but it adds humus to the soil. Okay, so this advantages of manure is also very important. Okay, note children, this advantages of manure. Okay, so it enhances the water holding capacity, it makes the soil porous, it increases the number of friendly microbes. That is, it will increase the number of friendly microbes that convert the wastes into manure and also it improves the texture of the soil. The soil texture is also very important. It will be also improved by using the manure. So manure has many advantages than fertilizers. Okay, have you all understood? Have you all understood, children? Dear children, the next topic is irrigation. So irrigation is very important. So we are applying fertilizers, so minerals are added to the soil. It has to be absorbed. Along with the water only it will be absorbed. Okay, now take your pencil and underline irrigation. So what is meant by irrigation? Okay, take your pencil and underline. The supply of water to crops at different intervals is called irrigation. So we have to apply water to the crops at regular intervals. So this is called irrigation. So this irrigation varies from crop to crop. We cannot follow the same irrigation pattern for all crops. We have to follow different. For paddy it will be different, for wheat it will be different, for cotton it will be different. So we have to follow different irrigation pattern and it also varies from soil to soil and it also varies from season to season. At summer season, so the frequency of irrigation will be more, so we have to irrigate the plants more. During winter season or rainy season it should be less. Why? Okay, the summer season it will be very hot, the temperature will be very high, the rate of irrigation will be, rate of evaporation will be very fast. Okay, so what happens? The plant may lose water. So at the time we have to irrigate the plants. During rainy season, the frequency of irrigation will be less because in rain itself it will get more water. So the irrigation it varies from crop to crop, soil to soil and season to season. See Bhuju's question. I am very careful this year about watering the plants. Last summer my plants dried up and died, isn't it? Okay, during summer season what happens? The rate of evaporation will be very fast. So the plant will lose the water. So during the summer season the frequency of irrigation must be higher. Okay, see now some sources of irrigation. Okay, see the sources of irrigation. Well, tube wells, ponds, lakes, river, dams and canals. So, these are the sources of irrigation. You know about well, you know about tube wells, ponds, lakes, rivers and dams. From the canals also we can get water, isn't it? Yes. Then, come for the methods of irrigation. There are two methods of irrigation. One is the traditional method of irrigation. So, other one is the modern method of irrigation. So, one is the traditional method, other one is the modern method. Traditional method means we can take water in wells, lakes and canals and it can be lifted by different methods. Okay, so these methods are less efficient because the evaporation loss will be more. Okay, see a book. So this is moat. What is this? This is moat. Okay, so the man is taking water from the well and he is supplying to the crops. So here the evaporation loss will be more. Okay, the next one is chain pump. Okay, the next one is chain pump. From the chain pump also we can take water from the nearby river or nearby canal or well and we can supply to the crops. The second one is deckley. Okay, so what is this deckley? So in the olden days it was used. Okay, so by this method they are taking water from the well. The last one is rahat. Okay, the last one is rahat. We can use the ox and we can take the water from the well or nearby river, whatever it may be. Okay, so what does this mean? These methods are less efficient. These methods are less efficient because the water loss will be more and the evaporation loss will be also more. So to avoid this evaporation loss and less efficiency, we are going for the next method, modern method. We are going for the modern method. So this is very, very important. So what is this method? It helps to use the water economically. By this method, we can use the water economically. First one is the sprinkler system. Okay, first one is the sprinkler system. This is the sprinkler system. Okay, what they are doing here? They are taking water from the well by using a motor. Okay, by using the motor, they are taking water from the mill. Then the water is circulated through perpendicular pipes. See, through the perpendicular pipes, they are circulated. They will be having nozzles at the top. Nozzles means small holes at the top and the water will be sprayed to the plants. Okay, so drops and drops water will be sprayed and this will lessen the evaporation loss and the plant will get more water. The plant water will not be wasted. Okay, but see, this is very useful for sandy soils. Okay, you have learned about the types of soil, no? Okay, this is very useful for sandy soils. Okay, the second one is drip system. See, this is a diagram of drip system. See what they are doing here. They are taking water from the well by using the motor and the water is allowed through pipes and it is sprinkled to the roots straightly. Okay, it is sprinkled to the roots straightly. You might, if your father is a farmer, means you might have also used this in your fields. Okay, you might have also seen this. This is the most common method. Okay, so they are taking water from the well and through the pipes they are sprinkled to the roots. So the roots are straight away getting water. So the water loss will not be there. So it also helps us to conserve the water. So this is a boon to the farmers where the level of water is very, very less. To the summer season and all, there will be shortage of water, isn't it? So in that seasons and all, we can go for this drip irrigation. This drip irrigation has more advantages. Okay, so read the drip irrigation and underline the main points. Okay. Okay, have you understood today's class? Okay, have you understood? Coming to the activity part, you want to write the answers for 2 long answer questions. The first question is explain the irrigation methods that conserve water. Here you want to write about drip irrigation and sprinkler irrigation in detail with diagram. Then the next question is what are manure and fertilizers. You want to write what is manure and you want to write what is fertilizers. You want to write the differentiate between the two. And the next one is you have to frame 20 very short questions and you have to find out the answers. The answer must be in one sentence or one word. So this is your activity. So do it and submit your class teacher. See you in the next class. Have a nice day. Thank you, children.